All right, hey everybody, we're here. We are back. We're going to start talking and diving into what could, how Toyota just fell short of the finish line on what could have been a great off-roader truck. This is just a video I got running on here. We're going to just let it kind of play as we cover some things in here and dive into this truck and some of the things it did. Now, first off, we're going to mention here, because I got a whole list we're going to go through, and we got a ton of videos from other people that we are going to dive into and that we are going to look at on here, and we got a lot of stuff to cover in this one. But first off, make no mistake about it that this new 4th gen Tacoma is one super sexy truck, especially when you lift them and you put some bigger wheels on them. These things are just gorgeous looking trucks. They're just they did the design of this thing absolutely spot on. Looks good, capable, functional. I mean, they hit it really well. They priced it high. Prices are coming down. We know that. So at least the prices are coming down and getting back to normal. But and there's, like I said, there's a list of pros and cons on here. But if I were as somebody who spends 300 miles a week in the swamps, running through stuff, needing the capability of my truck all the time, I kind of put together a list of some of the things that Toyota hopefully needs to do to this truck to take it there. Okay, right now, this truck, when it came out of the gate, and they were talking about this, running this truck and what they were going to do with it, this thing was basically coming out of the gate as a beast. It was running as fast as it could and going, and it was doing really good. And then 10 yards before before it got to the finish line, it just fell flat on its face and laid there. That's what happened here. How do we make this thing more off-road capable? How does Toyota bring this to what it needs to be today in this world and get back to what it had before with the quality and reliability and capability off-road? So we're going to dive into that. So what I did here is I made an actual list, which we have right here. Okay, these are the things. We're going to dive into them. First of all, they got to fix the payload numbers. It's way too low, okay? It's just stupid low compared to everybody else competition-wise. Their payload numbers are horrible. Fix that. You can find a way to pull that off, but if you want to use this thing as an overlander, 1,200 pounds of payload doesn't work, okay? You need to get that thing sorted. Beef up the trans, manual, and the auto, and, I know there are a couple people like, they're saying, oh, the sky's falling when people are complaining about this. It's not the sky is falling. We're showing you straight up. I mean, this stuff is legit. It's happening out there, and it's not a onesie-twosie deal. You think it's ironic that both in the same day that TFL, okay, which is right here, TFL comes out with the real story behind how their Tacoma broke, okay? Fantastic video. It's right here. It's called Tell All. You should watch it. I'm not going to play it because of copyright stuff on there and things like that, but you should go to watch this video on TFL Truck and watch Tell All and listen to this interview. This is the first time Toyota allowed TFL to share the true story of what happened. It's pretty interesting, and read between the lines of everything you hear on that. Same thing with what happened here with with Truck King and their manual transmission blown apart. They say he money shifted. I doubt it. The guy's been driving trucks his entire life. He's been driving manuals his entire life. He knows what he's doing, and he wasn't in a high pressure, high stress situation. He knew exactly what he was doing. I don't believe he went from fifth to first. I don't think he did. And if he did, it should have caused different damage and not just torqued and completely blew out and destroyed the manual trans in there. But we also have in here where if we look at this video right here, which was done by the Car Guy Online, but in here he's quoting and showing one from the Car Care Nut where these two are talking. This is a Toyota engineer, and they're talking back and forth, and this engineer is telling him, we detuned the motor in the auto Tacoma. Okay, we've turned, I don't want to just linger on this, so we're going to just go let wherever I put it, my video just play here in the background. But that guy says, we detuned through software the motor for the auto trans so that we do not grenade the transmission. The transmission cannot take the torque of that motor, so in the auto we could detune it. In the manual, we don't have the power of being able to detune it through software. So we had to detune and knock down the torque numbers on the manual so that the trans doesn't come apart. He says that right in there. Also, in this one right here, he says the same exact thing in this. The engineer says the same exact thing in this one right here. And then, like I said, you have these guys who broke their manual and many others that have broke their manuals and coming apart. And yet, so what we know is we know that when we look at our list right here, this is a top priority. Beef up both the transmission for the auto and your manual. There is never a time where it's okay to say, we're going to make this motor have all this power and all this torque, but we're going to take it all away from you because our transmission is the weakest link in both our auto and our manual. And that's exactly what Toyota did. You can justify it. You can do anything you want to convince me otherwise, but that is quote unquote what their engineers are saying right here that they have exactly done. The engineer in here says it, and the engineer in here says it. They both said the same exact thing. We detuned the motor to not let the transmission, auto or manual, blow up. That's what they said. So they need to fix that. That needs to be done ASAP. Fix the four-wheel drive engagement going into 4 low and fix the locker engagement. This is absolutely one of the worst. It is the number one reason I sold my truck. I need my truck to work on the road all the time, or I mean off the road all the time, and I use my lockers sometimes 6-7 days a week, or 6 or 7 times in a day, and I'm out there 300 miles a week, and I cannot stand this. This is a clip of one of my videos, and it's showing you, watch this blinking light. I've showed this video many times. Casey, it's in right here, but now I'm trying to get it to go. Now watch, here we go. It's out. Now watch me try to put this locker back in, even after having it in. Okay, watch. Now I'm trying to get it to come back in and re-engage. Watch how hard this is. Watch the speedometer. I'm going forward. I'm going backwards. I'm doing all this kind of stuff. Point being, locker engagement on the Tacoma, the 4th gen is the same thing. We've seen that time and time again. Look at how much I have to struggle. I could never do this in a hole. I could never do this in the middle of an obstacle. I could never do this if I was stuck. I cannot get the locker to engage on this. It's not just my truck. It doesn't get better when you wear it in and use it more, as some commenters have said, because I used it 7 times a day, often in multiple days a week. It was this nonstop, exhaustingly boring, and the fact that I have to go into 4 low just to even use my locker. This whole time we've been talking, notice if you look at the screen, it's still not engaged. Okay, I still have not got it to engage. That's how bad this problem is. There it is. There it is. Now we got it. Okay, you see what I'm talking about here? It's just ridiculous how bad the 4-wheel drive engagement system is, and the locker in the 4 low. It's just, they need to fix this. It's been this way too long, and there's no reason for it. That has to be remedied if they ever want to think they're going anywhere in the 4-wheel drive world anymore. And then add a front locker. Okay, add a front locker into this thing. What do we got today? Let's look at this. What do we have today in 2024? We have the only 2 mid-sized trucks that don't offer a front locker is Toyota and Nissan. Okay, we have we got the Colorado ZR2 front and rear lockers. We got the Canyon, or the Colorado ZR2 Bison Edition front and rear lockers. We got the Canyon AT4X front and rear lockers. We got the AT4X AEV Edition front and rear lockers. We got the Ford Raptor Ranger that we have right here, front and rear lockers. We have the Gladiator right here. We got a Jeep Gladiator that has front and rear lockers. Okay, the only ones that don't, the 2 Japanese ones, Nissan and Toyota. And it's time. Get it. You want to get with the program, get with the program. But it does have, Toyota does have very good, as we see down here, torque vector transfer, vectoring torque transfer of the wheels. So they do a pretty good job, but make no mistake about it, the reason that Toyota chose to put a sway bar disconnect in there and did not do a front locker is because their transmission and their front diff could not handle it. Their transmission and front diff can't even handle the power of the motor, let alone hooking up a front locker to it. So it's not there. That also means that if you were thinking of adding an aftermarket locker to your 2024, your 4th gen Tacoma, it's probably going to be a mistake until they fix these, because the transmission and the diff cannot handle it. And now this is not just based on just a TFL diff blowing up. This is also based on the fact that we saw in this video here, this one, the tell-all video that is right here that he talks about on their channel. He talks about the front diff was exceeded by like 1.75% over maximum capability in that little roll scenario that they did, which means that, I promise you, if you put a locker in this, you're going to start snapping things. It can't handle it. It couldn't even handle the torque vectoring transfer without braking because it was overloaded by 1.2%. How did they fix this, he said? He said in it, we have since solved this problem. What did they do? Detuned it more. So, you know, that's like I said, there's some things here that they could really be working on. Better skid plates too. Skid plates are a huge one. Again, I'm showing you all these videos so you can go watch any of them on here. But when it comes to the skid plates on here, this is from TRD John. You can go watch this on here. This is on a TRD off-road model, and this skid plate is paper thin, flexible plastic. You could take this thing in your hand and just smash it and snap it in half. It is ridiculously thin and flimsy, and it serves no purpose whatsoever. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen on an off-road truck. Are these cheesy, chintzy junk skid plates they got on this thing that need to be sorted. They need to solve that, especially if they want to, we don't want to spend 50 grand on a truck and go spend 10 grand more to make it an actual off-road truck. And then stop the dang sensors and all the beeping. Everybody complains about this when you're off-road. Everything is always beeping at you. Drives people nuts. The stupid low exhaust has to be cut off of this thing. This is also in those videos. You can see it. That exhaust hangs down so low. In these videos on here, like even this one, if we were to look at this, scroll through here somewhere, we can see it. Right here. Look at how low down this exhaust, and then they flare it to top it off. But it's not. This is flared for cosmetic purposes. Okay, you can see they just extrude the outside of it, but they have this thing so far down here that it's just getting hung up on everything they do. When he takes this thing off road, he hits it going back up through here, coming through somewhere, but he smashes this thing up pretty good. When he drives out, watch as he drives out of here, right in here. He ends up about taking that thing out right on this spot. Right, maybe I'm not playing. Like I said, I don't think it's right for me to play somebody else's videos like that too much. So you'll have to go watch it, but you can see it here. But anyway, like I said, it ends up taking a, the exhaust hangs way too low. As we see here, this pipe right here, too far down, too low on it, something that you got to deal with. Now, the other thing is the beefed up front end, like we said. Now, there are some great things about this vehicle. The flex in it is amazing. Matter of fact, if we want to look at that as another vehicle or video we have here, this one right here, he shows this fantastic. No, that's still me in here talking about the truck. This one right here, this is from 4-Wheel Drive Adventure. You can see him down here. Now, he's got a great channel. He drives a Nissan Frontier. That red one back there is lifted. I watch a lot of his stuff because it's interesting to see what trucks can do what, and I love his channel. He's going to do a comparison in this video between the flex of this Tacoma versus the flex of his over this stuff. And I'll show you this little clip of this real fast. Like I said, I will put information on here where you'll see how to find his channel, 4-Wheel Drive Adventure. It's a great channel. But as this Tacoma goes, this new Tacoma on, it's just got bigger tires and wheels, otherwise stock. But watch this thing as it goes up through here as it flexes. And watch how the tires stay on the ground between the front and the rears. Okay, look at how it stays planted. Okay, there's no major wheels lift, no anything. It stays planted very well. When we watch that, you can see here the Gladiator go up. Gladiator, look at a wheel lift even on the Gladiator as it goes up through there. And then when he comes through it with his right here with his Nissan, you can see the wheel lift here. watch the difference. So that, you can see how planted. Look at this as he goes. Okay, you can see how well done that Tacoma does as far as keeping things planted on there. So it does a fantastic job. So it's got the flex factor going for it. This is, again, my video there. And the tires upgrade size, you can fit 35s on these things pretty easily. That's a beautiful thing. Used to be a chore to even fit a 33 on the last gen. So to be able to get 35s on there is a great thing. The suspension is phenomenal. We know that. Even the TRD off-road with the piggyback Bilsteins and the thicker diameter tubes of those shafts or shocks are amazing. It's got the torque down low. It's got everything we're looking there for there. And it's got incredible torque vectoring transfer of your, for your power distribution, which is a fantastic thing too. There's very little complaint on any of this kind of stuff on that truck. But these 9 things that we have right here, if Toyota doesn't fix these, they're gone. There's no chance of this truck being able to be a good quality off-roader, in my opinion, without these. So as they're making some changes, these are what they need to focus on. If they do these, they take this thing from a 65% off-roader all the way up to a 100% off-roader, and a very good one at that. But this is the stuff that Toyota needs to focus on if they want to do this. They should have did it from the beginning. Instead, they chose to save money by not doing this. They chose to not do this. They chose to not do this because it worked for them in the past. They think people will deal with it. They couldn't do this because they chose to not do this or do this. This was just an oversight because they don't actually off-road. They don't know the difference. They don't care about this because all the sensor stuff, and they don't care about this either because they don't think most people keep their Tacomas in a garage and they don't actually go off-road. So it is what it is, but here's where Toyota fell short in the off-road world and what they need to change. What do you think? Do you think that I'm missing something? Should I added something? Am I off on something? Give me your input. Are you going to be one that's going to tell me the front locker is only used 5% of the time, so their torque vectoring transfer is going to do just fine? I'd like to hear it. Let me know. In my world, lockers are everything, okay, where I am in the swamps. Okay, there's no torque vectoring that's going to help you. If my wheels start breaking free and spinning already, then I'm done. I need them locked up so I can crawl and creep out of there. Can't do that with LSD, and you can't do that with torque vectoring. You can't do that with a lot of stuff. Front lockers, for me, are a gold mine out here. What do you think? Put your info down below. Love to hear it. Thanks for watching.